Tom waiting outside for me right now, and John, you let John do John. John's going to disappear. Not only will you not hear about him or what he's doing, neither will I. And then he will resurface, and they'll call, and we'll get it done.
And actually, right after that press conference, I had a meeting with Dana. So in all honesty, I was expecting to come and we maybe negotiate a little bit. And he literally walked into the room and said, "It's happening." And I said, "Well, he's going to want loads of money." And he said, "I know, but it's happening." And he said, "It's going to be the biggest fight in UFC history." So
does that mean John Jones has agreed?
I don't know what in all honesty, John Jones is like, nobody knows what
John Jones' controversial comeback has sparked rumors that he may fight Tom Aspinall.
John Jones is like, nobody knows what he's doing, even the UFC, so I don't know.
He says he wants fuck you money. I imagine Dana will pay him fuck you money, won't he?
I would imagine so. I mean, I can't speak for Dana, but I would
you get
so.
fuck you money?
No.
How much would you get for that fight?
I don't really care about money at this point. I mean, obviously, I've got a family. I want to make as much money as I can. But to me, what's more important is unifying the belt.
Tom Aspinall said that he won't give John another chance because he has lost a lot of time in his career when he is at the top. This was after John Jones caused a scene of chaos. Dana White is also making big fights.
Jones, we don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back in the...
You jump back in the pool, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Officially?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because they're not going to want to miss something like this. How sick is that for you that now you kind of got this White House event for them and it's like, I feel like this is what brings...
No matter who popped up or who didn't or whatever, we would have put on an incredible card. But the fact that literally everybody wants to fight on this card, it makes it a lot more fun.
What would be the dream main event?
The dream main event right now would be Aspinall versus Jones
at the White House.
On any main event.
Possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card?
Could be.
The head of the UFC, Dana White, has made it clear that he wants this dream fight to happen. Since years ago, fans have been begging for it, and now the chance is closer than ever.
So obviously we mentioned the White House card. You said everyone's trying to get on it. Who are the sort of people blowing up your phone trying to get on it?
Well, I mean, everybody wants to be on this card. I mean, you don't even have to know who's blowing up my phone. You can just see it all on the internet. But, you know, the fight's a year away. So the landscape will change a lot over the next year.
Israel. Adesanya, a boxer in the UFC, praised Tom Aspinall's speed and size and called him dangerous. However, he said John Jones is better at grappling. He thinks they need to fight or else it will be another made-up battle we never got.
But Aspinall, so far, the way he dispatched off
the Russian guy,
oh my God. And he's fast, but he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. Yeah. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt, but John is...
It's different.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. They got to fight. But if they don't ever fight, we'll never know. Because we had that with John and Silva. We had that with Silva and GSP. So all these fights, we will never.
MMA commentator Joe Rogan, on the other hand, said that Jones will only fight for fame this time. In his home country and in front of the White House, he has a chance to beat Tom Aspinall.
I think pound for pound, and we won't ever find out. I think Tom Aspinall is the best. I think
who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if John beats him? John might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
John might take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
John easily could, because we don't know how good John is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. We have zero
because no one's gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks. Like, we don't know how good John is.
There is no question that John Jones is the best to ever do it. From his early climb to champion to conquering legends and overcoming any challenge thrown at him, he has showed that he is the strongest fighter in the world.
Right. You can't tell me John's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT, but you can't tell me he's the baddest heavyweight on the planet after being an older Stipe. That's not going to do it for me.
Right.
Aspinall is good, and he's in his prime.
And Cyril Gane almost beat Francis. I know you can say the thing about the knee, and Jones just smoked him.
Went right through.
We also didn't know fucking Cyril Gane was a fucking 3-stripe white belt. That's news to me.
What is that? So what does that mean?
Did he get that 3rd stripe?
It's MMA. He's got to be able to.
I'm just saying, like the bulldog guillotine. It's like, hey, dude.
Tom won the heavyweight title without ever fighting John Jones. And that is exactly why Jones will attack him with ferocity. But when Jones finally pays attention to him, it will not be about belts. It will be about justice. Jones destroys anyone who threatens his rule. The longer Jones waits, the harder his return will be.
Well, I think he might have frozen. It feels like he froze in the big lights there.
I think he also probably is not used to a guy that's that good getting a hold of his neck.
Yeah. I think he thought they'd be on the
At that level?
I think he
World champion?
John caught him.
Yeah,
he caught him.
I think John does that to him 100 out of 100 times.
Yeah.
There's not enough hours in the day for Cyril to make up for it.
It was great distance management, too. John just avoided all the big shots. The timing of the shot was perfect.
I can see John taking Aspinall down.
He very well could.
You're talking about the black belt who grew up in jiu-jitsu gyms like Matt?
He took
whose dad
Daniel
owned a
Cormier
jiu-jitsu
down
game?
twice.
Sure.
A two-time Olympian. That's not easy.
DC's not a black belt on the f***ing ground.
I wonder how it
Take
is
him
off his back. How
his guard is. I know.
Does he have a guard?
Does he have a guard?
I would assume
A lot
it's
of big
not
guys don't have a
bad.
guard.
He's been doing jiu-jitsu in his diapers, man. You're talking about, there's pictures of him
You'd
at 4
assume
years
that,
old.
but man, we've seen a lot of guys who are really good and they're on their back and they got nothing. They have no answers.
I agree, but as athletic as he is and growing up in that culture, the guard's not going to be.
It might not be, but you know,
I don't know if he's
you know
Verdun.
more than anybody that big guys are mostly on top when they're training.
Always, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Unless you're a guy that's smart about it, like Fabricio Verdun, who developed. I mean, that's a rare guy who's a big guy who developed a killer. He's in my top 10 of all time. I always put in Fabricio. You got to remember that guy tapped everything.
There's an intriguing part too. John Jones's mentality. He's not only worried about losing against Tom Aspinall, he's worried about what happens next. If Jones loses and is not guaranteed an instant rematch, his future is uncertain at 36 in a division where Aspinall is practically the new face. Jones is aware that the UFC frequently forgets about its aging stars. Without the belt, there is no power.
As a concern, they don't know what to do with me if I'm not champion. And if Tom beats me and he doesn't give me a rematch, or they won't guarantee me a rematch, what do they plan to do with me? I gained an understanding to the inside of John. If that in fact is accurate information, that John is worried about an immediate rematch and doesn't believe he's going to get it, you can look at the board and see that he's 36 and on his way out, and this guy is 20-something on his way up. And he even questions why they left the belt with him, to the point that he's saying if they knew what to do with me not as champion, they'd have already done it. That's very objective. So is it as simple as guaranteeing John a rematch? Very interesting point.
Dana previously stated that the bout would go place. However, John Jones later announced his retirement. In fact, he just revealed on Twitter that he has retired. Dana White has practically stated that the John Jones versus Tom fight has been booked.
Tom waiting outside for me right now, and John, you let John do John. John's going to disappear. Not only will you not hear about him or what he's doing, neither will I. And then he will resurface and they'll call and we'll get it done.
According to UFC Supremo White, Jones first accepted the deal before changing his mind and retiring. Jones, who was recently accused with leaving the scene of an accident in New Mexico, has refuted the claim, saying that he told UFC officials he was done in November. Meanwhile, Charles Sonnen, a former fighter and UFC insider, has reacted on John Jones' unusual U-turn following his retirement.
So this great piece of theater comes out, and it's John Jones on, I believe, Instagram. I saw it, so it must be Instagram, because he's got me blocked on Twitter, and I was able to see this. He's clearly on a smartphone. Garage door rolls up. Two guys headed towards John. He greets them both with handshakes, and then they all turn around. So now the smartphone shows us that the garage is a home gym. And the caption is, shaking the dust off, John, getting a workout. All right. Now, there's a story being told. What is that story? It would seem as though John's still in MMA.
Now John Jones is back at the gym. Although the opponent remains undetermined, one thing is sure. Jones is planning for something big. All signs lead to a historic occasion in the White House arena. When John begins training, the entire world knows that something big is about to happen.
It would seem as though that he had in and that he had out, and he said himself last week when he re-entered the testing pool that he wanted to keep options open for everybody. Well, one way to preserve those options is to make sure that you're still good at the sport that you may or may not. Can John manipulate convince you, the fan, through the media enough. If he decides I'm going to come back, I'm going to fight Tom Aspinall. After all these months dating back to November of last year where he's consistently said I'm not going to fight him, and then even really doubled down on that. Leaving the pool, retiring from the sport, relinquishing the belt. Is that a fight that if that got booked, you could trust and believe it?
Chael Sonnen did not hold back. He stated that Jon Jones will face a difficult situation in convincing fans that he is serious about fighting Tom Aspinall. Why? Because the last time this fight was about to happen, Jon walked away. And now, the doubts are louder than ever.
Could it be an interview? Could Jon come out and just speak directly to you guys and go, listen, here's what happened? Could he come clean and go, look, I said goodbye to the sport and instantly started to regret it. I said goodbye to the belt. I felt big and strong in that moment. That I was standing on my own, but now I realize I need a team. I need you. I need the organization. I need Aspinall. Like, could he just come clean? And before he could get that fight, he's got to get to where that answer is yes. Before the promotion, I mean, we just seen this, right? History repeats itself. We just saw it 2 weeks ago when Francis, who was the heavyweight champion and did not lose it in battle, he gave it back contractually. He lost it on paper, but we saw where he tried to return 2 weeks ago, and the UFC was very direct in saying we have no interest in doing business with him. It ended right.
The UFC is currently in a difficult situation as it negotiates with Jon Jones for a fight with only one viable option, Tom Aspinall. There are no other top opponents. And even if Jon makes a comeback, people may not trust him because their trust has already been destroyed. So, assuming this fight takes place, the focus will be solely on Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall.
Before the UFC would have an interest in doing business with Jon, they would have to know that you are going to believe it. I'm just wondering what it would take to get there. Now, if we were to go by the contract, Jon's pay would be to show. When Jon relinquished the belt, he voided the part of his contract that calls for participation. What you hear is back-end money.
But Jon Jones relinquished his title, and the instant he did, he lost his rights to the pay-per-view earnings. So, if Jon wants to return, he'll need to rework that part of the deal. The UFC would need to agree, make changes, and sign totally. New documentation. That is not guaranteed.
You can ever get rich in MMA. Like if that's your big dream, I'm going to be a fighter, meaning when I stop being a fighter, I choose what I do with my time. I don't have to have something else. I can just have had that in my background. You can get there, and guys have, with one commonality, which is they all fought with the activation of the participation portion of the contract, meaning they were paid back into points. And you get that not for fighting for the championship, not the night you become champion. That activates universally through every contract, whether you ask for it or you don't ask for it. It's boilerplate. It's in every contract when you defend the championship. So when Jon has this conversation with the UFC, he's going to then have to explain to them, by the way, I'm expecting activation of the participation portion of my contract, the same as I had the last time I fought in the...
Chael Sonnen said. Regardless of whether Jon Jones calls for a return, there's no way fans or the UFC are supposed to believe his trust has been broken. In terms of Jones' comeback, if we can ever trust him, there is only one fight left: Thomas Aspinall. What's even bizarre is that Tom's next battle has yet to be revealed, so perhaps there is a small window of chance. However, Chael does not think it will all fall into place that effortlessly.
So now you would have the UFC essentially negotiating against themselves for a guy who in the present form has one fight. There are not two opponents you want to see Jon fight. There are not three opponents that you want to see Jon fight. I understand that things can change. In present form, there's one opponent. Which, by the way, if Jon was to come back and make his big announcement that I'm coming back, I don't know if that would be accepted, for one. Again, because of the trust. But I could tell you, if it was accepted, it's going to be an even firmer planting of the feet in the ground that you have one opponent and it's going to be against Tom. And now, because of the way we've done it, you're going to walk out first as opposed to walking out second, but everything else is same, and off we go. That's a tough one for me to believe. There is a component of this that is unique, which is Tom's next fight has not been announced. That's a very unique...
Chael Sonnen remembered how Henry Cejudo, who had never lost his belt and wanted to return, was not offered an immediate title shot. Henry had to reclaim it, potentially through another battle, and he had to negotiate the weight class. Chael, too, is skeptical that Jon Jones will simply be pushed back into a top fight without question. What does a fight for Jon represent? A title eliminator. But then it would be back to Tom Aspinall, the referee, making a ruling on something Jon has carefully avoided since last year. The main problem, according to Chael, is trust. No gym return or public statement can repair the damaged trust until there is a clear and credible way forward.
Nobody has the answer to that question, nor do you need to have the answer. You just have to have a trust that there is an answer, that it will lead to something. And that's the problem as I see it right now. I don't know of any statement or match or return to the gym that in and of itself would repair the broken trust.
Late last month, the former two-division champion retired, putting an end to fans' hopes for a huge heavyweight title unification fight with Tom Aspinall. However, the 37-year-old reversed his retirement choice this week, re-entering the UFC's drug testing pool. Jones has continued to mull about the idea of fighting again. Although the thought of facing Aspinall appears to dampen his competitive spirit, the prospect of fighting on the proposed UFC White House card next year to commemorate America's 250th anniversary has piqued his interest. Not long after learning about the promotion's ambitious ambitions, Jones called Dana White and cars. In his most recent expose, he claimed, "Donald made his declaration on the morning of July 4th. I called the UFC's offices that same day. We'll leave it at that. America. Now I'm in a dilemma with these passes." Jones feels that a fight on the grounds of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue will be the pinnacle of his long and distinguished career. He added, "It would be the most epic fight in history. For me, it is about the chance to represent America in the White House." Jones, on the other hand, appears to have little respect for who he faces. He shouted, "I don't care who I fight tonight. I found the reason why. That's all I needed. Something more than money." Jones was offered the largest salary of his Hall of Fame career after requesting your money to unify the interim and undisputed title belts against Aspinall. On the other hand, Tom Aspinall is not taking anything for granted as he prepares for his career's most important test. A major fight versus Jon Jones will take place at the famous White House Arena.
Yeah, oh, it's gone up. Oh, it's gone up. Yeah, it's gone up. Yeah, perfect. That was hang on. Yeah.
Simeon's absolutely rapid. Get this on camera. Oh.
With the world watching and history on the line, Tom has already started training, refining every tool and weapon, in preparation to not only compete, but also win. This is more than simply another fight. This is a legacy war, and Aspinall is responding accordingly. Tom Aspinall is in full preparation mode, polishing every weapon in his collection for what may be his career-defining night. Versus the famous Jon Jones. This is not just another fight. Legacy, history, and pride are all on the line, and the setting couldn't be more strange, taking place in the White House arena.
Hi, mate. Yes, I'm Farron Morgan. I'm a military preparation coach. I'm here with Tom today, taking through some military testing. I'm really excited to see if a heavyweight champion of the world can take on some of the Army's hardest challenges.
I can't close them there, and I can't really move my legs. Look, mate, I would have lost my job already. Like I'm ready for a night out.
Hi. Oh. He's counting.
With the world's eyes on him and the stakes high, Tom knows that there is no room for error when facing Jon Jones, arguably the greatest fighter to ever step foot in the cage. Every jab, every step, and every second of this training camp counts. It is more than just preparing to fight. It is also preparing to defeat a champion. And the long-awaited fight is finally here. Jon Jones, the undefeated legend who has beaten the greatest of the best and defined an age, is on the verge of making another historic moment. But this time, he meets a different type of threat. Tom Aspinall is a young star fighter with speed, power, precision, and youth on his side. The battleground, the renowned White House arena, a setting unlike any other, heightens the excitement of this fight. So the issue is, will Jon Jones rise again and show why he is the best of all time? Or is this Tom Aspinall's chance to take over and usher in a new age in the heavyweight division? Please let us know in the comments. Who do you think will win this historic fight? If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe for more fight breakdowns, the most recent updates, and behind-the-scenes drama from the world of combat sports. We'll see you in the next